Hey everyone, as you can see, it is an absolutely gorgeous day again today. I'm almost pinching myself because I can't believe all the horrible weather we've had recently. That we've actually gotten a nice stretch of weather, and it is going to get colder again this week. So we're outside again today. We're going to get some more garden tasks taken care of. We're going to prune up our panicle hydrangeas. We're going to prune up our smooth hydrangea. We're going to prune up beautyberry, some more spirea, and maybe some other things. And I'll show you some things that are starting to flush out too. It's also exciting. Come garden with us. We're going to get out and finish up some of the maintenance that we didn't get to finish up in the previous video. I think I had mentioned in that video that we were actually going to get some of our panicle hydrangeas pruned up. So we got a lot of other stuff done. Never did get to the panicle hydrangeas. This one's a rather large pinky winky that we're going to be moving anyway. This is one of those things that's going to get moved this year. I'd say it's probably about 6 feet tall. It's not as big as it could be wide as well, and it's not as filled in because we really haven't ever pruned it before. Here's a closer picture of the panicle hydrangea, so you can see it's kind of open. It's not really a dense growing one. I think we're probably going to take it down significantly because it'll make it easier to move. We're also going to get pruned up. My husband wants to get these lime ricky hydrangeas pruned over here. I'm not actually sure. I feel like we need to prune these. These are a smooth hydrangea arborescens. Sorry, trying to get out of the sun. And I don't honestly feel like they need to be pruned. Maybe just the dead seed heads can be taken off, but so we'll see. These are hydrangeas that you can prune to the ground, and in theory you will still get blooms because they bloom on new wood. So the two other panicle hydrangeas are up there. They are our hydrangea standards. We just actually started pruning these hard just a few years ago because they do get rather large, and we like to keep them kind of dense. So that's one there. And then this is another one here, and you can see they do have some odd growth. So we're going to get after those today. And this is our beautyberry, Purple Pearls it's called. This is getting moved as well at some point, hopefully within the next month. We have to move something else to get it up where its new home is going to be, but it needs to be pruned because it's very tall. So we're going to take after that. We also have some more spirea down here. These are the double play blue kazoo. I had mentioned these several videos ago that I thought I wanted to prune them real hard this spring. Turns out we did do that last year too. They grew back really quickly, but we're going to take those down quite a bit too. I would go all the way down, to be quite honest with you. They will grow back, because go down to a really good set of buds further down. Is that a good set?
Well, there's a couple sets right here.
Then that's as far as we'll go, because they're getting a little scraggly. I don't feel like these double play blue kazoo spireas ever really get tight habit, at least not in my experience, but we will prune them again. I mean, you can see where last year's cuts were all the way down in there, and they still kind of grew up. We should probably prune this germander hedge. So that's about how short we're going to take those. We'll just do it to all three of those. 1, 2, 3. So that it makes it easier to get in here and do this beautyberry. Finished with the spireas, and you can see what we did. We just took them down to nice little neat little mounds, probably less than 12 inches. They will quickly grow back to their 3 by 3 So I'm not worried about taking them down hard while they were already flushing out. They'll be fine. Also got some funky growing branches. Spirea like to do that. They like to grow out and then up, so we took some of those off as well. Now we're going to tackle this beast. Since we're going to be moving this, I'm almost tempted to take it down to the ground. It's a beautyberry, and you should be able to do that. It blooms on new wood, so we should be able to take it down by like 90%. Not sure if I want to go that far, but I think we'll take it down by like 75%. Because again, this does have some weird branches. You see, these are kind of like growing out of the bottom here.
Down to about here.
So yeah, we're going to take it down, which is about 75%. And it'll be just fine. It has not even started to push out any kind of growth yet whatsoever. I think these are a little bit later to push out. So again, this is a plant that will be just fine. It's a tall one. It was only meant to be 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. Clearly, it has surpassed its bounds. It is still alive, though, you can see. Hopefully you could see. There's definitely green in there. Should we get the loppers?
I may be fine.
So we definitely took that down by a lot. It's going to look a little odd in this area for a while, but that's because we need to redo this area. So to make it easier on us moving this 7-foot tall shrub, it just needed to be cut back. And it'll help it. It'll grow in fuller. It was a little bit thin and scraggly. We got to get a lopper for that final branch because that one's kind of thick. We had not planned on pruning up this Ruby Falls Weeping Redbud today, but we're going to because it's so congested. And we're actually trying to get it, we're going to try to stake it up so that it grows a little bit higher. So you can see that huge branch that we just took off is growing funky anyway. Look at the shape of it. Not sure how that happens. It already looks a lot lighter. Anything that's crossing, we're going to take. Like this branch right here, it's just growing right over the whole tree, so take that one. What we're going to try to do is, you can see it's kind of growing a little crooked. It's like kind of growing this way. We're going to get a really heavy stake and try to straighten it a little bit. And I don't know if this point in the game we're going to be able to get any of these branches to kind of force it to grow taller. I mean, if it's bendable enough, we might be able to get that one up, but I don't think so. Those are very big. I would much prefer this be a little bit taller. But we're just going to try to decongest it a little bit right now. So anything that's crossing, you should take off. Like here's another crossing branch we should probably take off. And it'll just be so much less congested. Like this one. No, you should take it all the way, because otherwise it's just going to continue to cross. This one, because, well, maybe leave that one because we took that one. We'll see. I don't want it to look too thin. because I think I'd also mentioned this in a previous video. It just ends up like looking like Cousin It. And that's really not the look that I was going for here. So we're going to try to get it to look a little bit taller. I don't mind if it weeps to the ground, but it was sold as a 4 to 6 footer and it's only 4 feet. I would prefer it to be about 6. So we're going to try real hard to force this baby up. What are we doing here?
Yeah, going down to the buds.
Okay. Oh, I thought you wanted to take them down.
Well,
Which I didn't want to, so yeah, you can probably take that off. I don't want to take them to the ground.
yeah, no, I wasn't going to do that. I'm just going to the buds. Wherever I see a set, or if it's too branching out, I'll just take that back. Like to here.
So pruning up these smooth hydrangeas is not a quick process. It would have been easier probably a couple of weeks ago to just take them to the ground. They will, you know, grow up to their 4 feet again. But if you keep doing that every year, I feel like you won't get the heavy stems or the thicker stems to stop them flopping. Lime rickeys are pretty good about not flopping, but they do have rather big mop head flowers once established. Our tulips are blooming. In these containers, very pretty, and the hyacinths smell so good. Almost bloom on the black tulip magnolia. This is one of the earliest magnolias to bloom, which is a problem because even though it's cold hardy, it's blooming really early. We are expected to have 3 nights below freezing next week, so I'm hoping we don't lose all the buds on here. It would be so pretty to see this thing. I mean, it's probably got, I would say 20 buds. That would be so pretty to see this full of those beautiful pink blooms. So we'll have to see what happens next week. And one thing I am super excited about, when I went up to look at the quickfire hydrangea standards that we're going to be pruning, I noticed that our tiny tough stuff hydrangeas are almost leafed out. That one's full of leaves. And this one's full of leaves. Haven't cleaned up in there yet, but I was really worried about those. I wasn't sure because we planted them really high, and we did have a rather cold winter. I was worried that they would really heave out of the ground and not survive. But they've done okay, and I'm really excited. And you can see all the beautiful daffodils. We have a hyacinth coming up here. I'm not sure why the rabbits have not gotten to these tulips. I don't know that they'll actually bloom. Tulips aren't really reliably cold hardy around here. We have another hyacinth back here. Tiny one in there. Catmints actually starting to flush too. See a little bit of green in there. Every little bit of green you can see at this time of the year is exciting. So we're pretty much done here. You can see what my husband did. Just took off all the dead blooms and took off maybe 8 to 12 inches. So it'll be ready to fill up with blooms. These don't bloom right away. These are not as early as, say, some of the panicle hydrangeas. These bloom, gosh, I don't remember even, maybe starting in June, the lime rickeys. And they're really pretty. The new variety of this is called the Invincible Sublime. I actually like the lime rickeys better. I don't believe that Proven Winners sells them anymore, but you still can find them online at certain nurseries. So that's what they look like. Finally finished, both of them. And the next thing we're going to move up to now, hopefully finish up quickly, is the panicle hydrangeas. We're going to start with the Pinky Winky hydrangea here. We have not really pruned this a lot. I mean, you can see, obviously there was a cut made there at some point. I don't remember when, but because it's very leggy, it's not very dense, and we have to move it, we're going to take this one down pretty far too, in the hopes that it creates a denser growing shrub, and in the hopes that it'll be easier to move, because it's got to go quite a distance. So, and there's also a lot of spindly growth like that. I don't really see any buds on here either,
no,
so
I think it may bud out.
So we're going to take this one down hard. Again, these are tough shrubs. It'll survive. It's just that we need to make it easier to move, because it is going from here all the way. Hopefully that's showing up on camera, where we planted the green giant arborvitaes last year at the very top of our property. You can see through those two mop cypresses. I feel like this black tulip magnolia, this bloom has opened even more since we've been out here. So pretty. This one too. You can see that cracking. Oh my gosh. The closer I get to these hyacinths, they smell so good. But okay, let's focus on the job at hand. Yeah, I mean, you can see that just spindly growth. We've got a really old branch down there, and then these like spindly pieces just coming off of it. We want this to be a little bit more dense growing once we get it up there. We're not being very precise here, just getting it done. Oof, very dry, make me sneeze. Okay, there we have the finished product. It almost looks like a shrub that, it probably was that size when we bought it. But that's, like I said, that's fine. These are pretty tough shrubs. We want it to densen up and not be so leggy. And we want to be able to just dig it out and carry it very, very easily. So I think that accomplished it. All right, on to the firelights, or quick fire. And these, as I have said in the beginning of this video, these have been hard pruned several times. And I mean, you can see how much growth they put on. So this should not be, this is not a precise, we're going down to a nice healthy bud, and we're really going to take them far down. Last year I was quite shocked when I think I came home and my husband had already done this, and there was like, I mean, you can see last year's cuts way down, but you can see all that growth. I mean, probably 5 feet of growth in one season. So don't be afraid to take your panicle hydrangeas down. They bloom on new wood, so you can prune them quite hard. So let me see where I can step to get you a picture of that from a bit of a perspective. So you see what that looks like compared to that one. It looks shocking, but believe me, That creates a much fuller plant, stronger stems. It's absolutely fine. So we'll get the next one done, and I think that's it for today. Okay, so second one done, and again, yes, I know it looks shocking, but believe me, it will grow back and look just as gorgeous as it looked last year. We still have some more cleanup that we could be doing. I mean, we have Caryopteris here we could cut back. There's some Coreopsis in the back there, Heliopsis. But I think what we're gonna try to do is just do that off video. So I'm hoping maybe the next video will be a tour. Things are starting to really green up, push growth, so that'll be exciting. So thanks for coming along with us today. I hope you found this video helpful. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Let's focus on some pretty spring flowers. Bye.